Good afternoon, everyone. If you can have a seat, we'll get started here. I want to welcome everyone to 2019 National Signing Day here at HBU once again. Appreciate everybody coming out and joining us here in the Glasscock lobby on the campus of Houston Baptist University. And just want to thank everybody, and I know Coach Shealy is excited to announce this class. We've got a press release, we've got copies in the middle, and those are available. You may want to check the website later this afternoon for the final version. It may have a few more that come in this afternoon. So we'll get the audio fixed before Coach Shealy gets up here. But just want to welcome Coach Shealy now to announce the 2019 class, which includes the signees we had earlier in December. And we'll let him talk about each of those players. Here's head coach Vic Shealy.
Well, good afternoon, and it's really great. Today's also really special, I think, just with technology to be able to be in so many homes or workplace or in schools today, just through the internet and video, and just welcome to everybody to our time to celebrate what we feel like is really a special group of young men, and really a result of a lot of hard work by a lot of folks. I think these days like this, it's really important that we acknowledge just how many people go into the recruiting process. The support you get from the administration is so critical, but every day that we bring a player on campus, every day that we take a transcript to be approved, every day that we try to work to organize an official visit, there are significant people in the athletic department that are instrumental in that happening, and I think most people would be amazed at the number. So we're just really appreciative to so many, and know that we're grateful as a football staff. And sometimes we may get in a hurry and we may be a little bit busy and go on to the next challenge of the day, but know that we do really appreciate all that goes on there to help. Really want to also acknowledge the effort of our staff. We are 10 men that go out there and enjoy being in the homes of recruits, enjoy being in the schools with high school coaches. And it's really beyond the lifeline of your program, bringing in talented guys, but it's the relationships that are established. And for us as coaches, it really makes us tick. And I think for most of us, recruiting would be defined by relationships and the trust that you build with a family. And when you're in that home, in that living room, or at that school with those parents, the relationships that are forged are something that as you get a little bit older in your career and look back, it's just it's neat to see the starting spot of what later becomes really a meaningful relationship. This group of guys that we have coming in represent one of our larger classes. And last year we were able to bring in a full class, but because of the first graduating class being a 36-member class last year, we were not able to actually sign to our scholarship capacity. And so we have some of the delta left over between last year's class and what graduated that's been able to allow us to sign a really big class. It is a comprehensive class that deals with both need and also our ability in our program now to where, while to date in a young program, we don't have necessarily enough players, and we're trying to grow the roster so that we are a fully and comprehensive, talented roster. But we're also able to be probably a little more picky about taking the best player available in certain areas that we feel like improves us as a roster, along with meeting the needs that we have. It's always fun to talk about the different athletes that come on board, and I'm going to take a chance to do that. And I know there's mamas and daddies sitting back there right now, and the athletes that we'll look forward to being able to hear their name mentioned today. It is an accumulation of a lot that goes on from the time that maybe a young man becomes a Pop Warner player up through junior high to high school football. And most of the time, the individuals that really make that happen are the parents, the one that get up and take a young man when he's 14 years of age, getting ready to go into high school football, and his coach mandates that he has to be up there in the summertime at 6 a.m. to lift weights, and the mom gets up, drives in the morning, and does that because she loves her son. And that happens over and over and over. And so just know that the success that we're able to talk about, the players that we signed, that it is much the parents involved too. The first player that I'd like to introduce is Kyler Ball. He's a guy who signed with us in the December date. we did, and we're able to sign 11 in December, and that's really kind of become the big first signing date, as we all know by now. Kyler is a special athlete. He is from Tillahena, Oklahoma, which is kind of in the middle of nowhere. But what's amazing is that you have one of the best athletes in the state of Oklahoma sitting in a small area of the state over there that has made a big mark in that state. We had an opportunity to see Kyler in camp. He is a 6'2", 280-pound quarterback, wide receiver, running back, linebacker, defensive lineman. He's played all his senior year in high school. At times you'd see him put him at quarterback, and they would run a quarterback run and gain 30, and then the next snap he'd be at wide receiver. They'd throw a screen to him. He'd go for 20 yards. He's just an amazing athlete, so dynamic, and truly is one of, I think, the rare guys in this class. Josh and Shauna are parents and wonderful, wonderful folks. He was a 6A Defensive Player of the Year in Oklahoma, and an Oklahoma All-State player. So truly one of those guys that has made his mark. Coach Burl Jordan, our staff, has made a good march into Oklahoma. It's one of our areas that we're trying to broaden our footprint in recruiting, and we're really excited about Kyler joining our program. He is a freshman there. The next athlete I want to mention is Blaze Benson. Blaze is a quarterback out of Sherman High School, played for J.D. Martinez there. One of the really neat stories in Texas high school this year was the explosion of Sherman High School football, a school that has struggled with winning and now has really made a mark in the playoffs. Blaze is truly, if we could draw up and say, this is what the quarterback at HBU in an ideal world would look like, this is one of those guys. And not that we're not grateful for the guys we have in our program, but when you have a guy that's 6'5", 240 pounds, and is a dual threat running quarterback, it's pretty amazing. And he's a big, strong arm guy, character that's beyond reproach in every regard, a very, very high academic student. Even though he's a full scholarship athlete, half of his scholarship at HBU is because of his academic qualities. He's one of those rare guys. He's a great three-sport athlete, basketball player and baseball player there at Sherman High School, and truly special. I think one of the things that really marks that defines him is that he is a winner. I think we all understand that quarterbacks is the guys that win ball games that truly are the great ones. And we have great hopes that he is going to be a quarterback for the future in our program. The next individual I want to talk about is Nathan Beveridge. Nathan is out of Santa Barbara, California, played at Los Pueblos High School there, and then went on to Santa Barbara City College there, where he played for Greg Morlopoulos. He is a special guy. He's a true offensive tackle, a true left tackle with some of those great feet, some of those great quality. He's a big guy at 6'4", 310 pounds. He's on campus right now as a mid-year transfer, and is a very, very bright guy. He's another one of those guys that he's on a full scholarship, athletic scholarship, but half of his scholarship is academic scholarship. Here again, very, very bright individual. His mom, Cora Lee, just back about maybe 3 weeks ago, had a chance to be in their home there in Santa Barbara, and it was probably one of the most unique home visits that I've ever had experienced. Cora Lee is battling breast cancer, and the day before she had just finished her third or fourth round of chemotherapy, and I'm here to tell you, she was tough, and I would give anything for any of our football players beyond Nathan to see what a tough woman looks like that's fighting and battling. She is an amazing woman, and boy, I tell you what, she's a special gal, and we're really grateful to have them as a family in our program. Nathan is just very passionate. He's a very strong technique player. He's a ready-made guy, and some of the areas by need that we really wanted to tackle in recruiting was at offensive tackle. We have signed 4 offensive tackles in this class, with 2 of them being JC guys, and we're really excited about Nathan being in our program. The next guy is another offensive tackle, Ray Burnett. We had him in camp and enjoyed seeing him. In camp, there's probably about 80 offensive linemen, and I know Coach Castor watched him as I did, and he was the first in every line. He led every drill. His attention to detail, footwork, when a coach talks to him, his eyes stare down the coach, for correction and wanting to learn. He is a Semper Fi All-American. He is the congressman there in Oklahoma, John Ratcliffe. He's a congressional student leadership member and one of the outstanding young men in the state of Oklahoma. And he is really an athletic guy. He's a big guy at 6'5", 10 pounds, another high academic guy, and just a tremendous passionate competitor. Really just an outstanding individual, and again shows the effort that we're making to recruit Oklahoma. The next player that I'd like to mention is Keaton Dickey, a guy that is probably one of the most unique guys that we have in this class. He's a 6'2" cornerback, and those guys are really hard to find, those long corners. And Keaton is a tremendous student athlete. He's at Cy Ranch High School, played for Gene Johnson there. Before that, he was in Frisco at the Ridley High School where he played for Chad Cole. And it's really kind of a neat story. Keaton's father was a great player at the University of Arizona. And we would kind of look at the mark that his dad made in college football. He became the hero of Keaton. His dad unfortunately passed away a few years ago, and that was his ball coach guy. I mean, that was the guy that he had his relationship. And so as coaches, we have an opportunity never to replace Dad, but to come in and be that part of his life. We were able to hire last week Cedric Whitaker, our new cornerbacks coach, and it's great to have you, Ced, on staff, and how quickly Keaton and Ced. I was out in California recruiting the day that Ced went by school to see Keaton, and I was getting a play-by-play report of what was going on, and it was thumbs up. Hey, it's going great. They're connecting, and what's amazing now is that you see two guys that act like they've known each other for a long period of time, and it's just really exciting. His grandfather was a quarterback at historical Black College, Tennessee State, was a great player there, and went on to play in the NFL for the Oakland Raiders. So it's a great football story in that family. He's a really explosive athlete, a dual sport athlete, and a very intelligent man, and just really a bold, confident individual. And it's just a wonderful signing for our future. The next player is DJ Dormus. He was a December grad. He's a high school guy. He is out of Killeen High School in Killeen, Texas, there where he played for Neil Searcy. I think when you kind of look at guys like DJ, he's a 6'2", 185-pound wide receiver with a really long catch radius. He's a very athletic guy. He's very mature in route running. He's been very well coached there. And he comes in with the expectation to be able to play early in our program, both from the DNA he possesses, but also just in the maturity and how he handles himself. Another really bright individual, and just can't be more excited. The next guy is kind of one of the more interesting guys in our class, Montez Evans, out of Mount Sac Community College out in L.A. He went to Upland High School where he played for a friend of mine, Tim Salter, and Tim's a great ball coach there at Upland High School, and then went on there to play there at Mount Sac. And he's an interesting guy. He was a safety in high school, started his career as a safety at Mount Sac. Mount Sac is one of the very best football community colleges in the nation, and they moved him to like an outside linebacker, so he's a hybrid guy. He gives you the ability to play fastball defense without having to sub to get to a nickel package. And so these kind of hybrid athletes are really kind of the wave of the future as you're really trying to personnel your defense, and he's a wonderful young man, just character a mile deep. And his mom, Christina, had an opportunity twice to be in the home with her, and what an amazing lady she is. And I know Coach Mills and I are excited about the man we're getting, but also the athlete we're getting in Montez. Trey Flewellen is a safety out of Gilmer High School. I think we all know in this state that Gilmer is truly one of the great football stories in this state for decades. Trey signed with us in December. His coach is Matt Turner there, and Trey's a 6'2.5", 6'3", 195-pound safety. Is a dynamic athlete. Is a great track athlete in this state. He runs a 4x1, the 4x2. He's a long jumper. He's a hurdler. He just can kind of do it all in the track world. But he's a football guy. He has a high football IQ, a really special dynamic personality. Probably one of those guys that walked in this room in 5 minutes, everybody would say that they would vote Trey to be the mayor of Gilmer when he graduates from college. And he's just a unique guy in that sense. And we're really grateful for Trey. His family is truly one of the neat families that we have, and so many. Just you're around them, you feel like you know them for years. Gino Garcia is a place kicker out of Richardson Pierce High School there. Played for Dave Collins, and Gino's really one of the best kept secrets in the state of Texas. maybe place kicking, punting is best described. That recruiting sometimes gets taken by what guys sometimes, yes, do on a football field in high school, but also what they do in a lot of these really specialized camps around the country. Saylor and some of the guys that really run these organizations, they have an opportunity to evaluate guys. They have an opportunity to really create competition at these camps. And Gino was not necessarily one of those kind of guys that was in the pipeline of camps, but the couple he went to, he ended up winning those camps with some of the nation's very best place kickers at that camp. The one in Vegas and the one in Texas he won. And it's a great story of a guy who maybe didn't have all the opportunities to be at every one of those shining star moments, but yet when he did, he maximized his opportunity. He is literally perfect. He is this year's past year 53 for 53 in extra points and 7 for 7 in field goals with 2 50-yarders. And so at the end of the day, you're looking for those guys that have just those really ice cold veins that will put it through the upright. One of the nice things about it, in high school, you can kick off a tee still, which helps you elevate the ball. But Gino went through the entire senior year kicking off the ground, so he's already made that adjustment as a college kicker, which is hugely important. We see that ball, it's just amazing how that just thumps off his foot. Interesting story is that Gino was offered last year a professional contract to play soccer in Mexico and chose to stay. He's only played 1 year of football, and he's chosen to stay in the States to play football and get an education. His parents, Gino and Maria, they were on campus last weekend, and they were just lovely people, and we're grateful. He has a little daughter there, Daisy, that might be the cutest recruit's daughter we had all year long. She was awesome. Christian Gilry is a linebacker out of Lake Charles, Louisiana. Christian spent about 6 months committed to a Southland school pretty close to Lake Charles, Louisiana. And in December he visited, and on that visit he committed to us. It was a big moment because, number one, that school doesn't get a really good player, and we got that good player, so they get less, we get more. I like those odds right there. But Christian's really special. Played in the I-10 All-Star game, which is a big game over in Louisiana. He's a 6 foot, 205-pound linebacker with great running ability. He's a tough guy. He's just really a strong student in the classroom with over a 3.637 GPA. It's a great family. What's kind of interesting, he was born and raised in Lake Charles, but his aunt, his grandmother, and 3 of his uncles live here in Houston, so he has a lot of family, so we're going to kind of adopt him to be a Texan here in the weeks ahead. Truly a special guy. Another guy who signed with us in December, a high school linebacker, Danny Leonard, out of McKinney High School there in McKinney, Texas, played for Coach Shavers there. Coach Shavers doing a phenomenal job at McKinney High School. This is one of the rising stars in Texas high school coaching, and it's pretty awesome. We had a chance to sit there and watch just his guys kind of work out in the weight room, and one day when we were by school to see Danny and the job they're doing to develop athletes in McKinney High School is really a model for so many in this state to want to be a part of. But Danny is 6'2", right at about 215 pounds, can run like a deer, as we kind of often say in the football world, which means you run really fast. And he's a tough guy. He's a really smart guy. He's in all AP type classes. He's just really a wonderful guy. He's a track athlete and a power lifter. Kind of an interesting combination along with being a football player. Doro Omari is a offensive tackle. He's at a Pearland High School, was a tremendous player there, highly recruited. Went to North Texas, was a good player there. Played in the Sun Bowl and was in there playing rotation. Nigerian family, mom and dad kind of wanted him to get back closer to home. We thought that was great. And he did have to spend a year at Blinn. It was kind of an interesting situation. We were hoping to have him this past summer. A particular math course didn't transfer just because of sometimes some of those things happen, which made it he wasn't able to transfer. Thus, he went to a JC, kept with his commitment to be in our program, was highly recruited out of Blinn just a month or so ago, and just stuck with the Dogs. And we're so excited. Doro has got he's an amazing young man. He became kind of one of those infectious guys that just seemed like he just got to know other recruits. And I know that he was actively involved in just communicating and getting to know his teammates for the future. It was awesome. He's 6'4", 310 pounds. That 310 pounds is actually pretty gracious. I think he's probably well north of that. But I saw him yesterday. He's just got a beautiful smile, and he's got a great football IQ. He's a tough guy, and he can play guard and tackle. He gives a lot of flexibility, but we expect him to be a tremendous player. for us in our program. Philip Osai is a linebacker out of Oak Ridge High School in Spring, Texas here. Played for Derek Rush up there, and those obviously know, Greater Houston football. This is one of the 3 mega football areas in the entire nation. Philip was, maybe some would argue, one of the best linebackers, maybe the best in the city of Houston. Was highly recruited, multiple FBS offers, was offered by a pretty good team with the previous staff here in the city of Houston a month ago or so, and then that staff changed over, and we had an opportunity to become more involved in the recruiting. But Philip is 6'2", 245 pounds. He's a ready-made college linebacker, and he's amazing. Vitus and Emanuela is their parents, and Coach Mills and Coach Henshaw and I had a chance to be in the home back several weeks ago, and I got an authentic Nigerian meal, and it was one of the best meals. And my wife's here, and she's a great cook, but I will have to compete. Emanuela competes with my wife pretty well. That was a wonderful day. I had goat. It was the best goat I've ever had. It was awesome. But Philip is an awesome, awesome young man, and what's amazing this morning, he sent his scholarship in NLI in, and was on the way to school, and he called Coach Mills to share that he's on the way into school. And I think Coach Mills said, "You happy?" He said, "Yes. My family and I are praying gratefully for this opportunity as they go into school." It's one of those neat families, and we're blessed. His older brother's a starting linebacker, is a true freshman at the University of Texas, and it's just a really athletic family. They have some good genes in there. Blake Patterson is a punter that signed with us in December and is on campus right now as we speak. He's 6'2", 205. His dad is a minister there in the Round Rock, Austin area, Don, and his mother, Mary. They're wonderful, wonderful people. He's a great athlete. I think most people would look at Blake, and on any other recruiting effort, you'd almost take him as a wide receiver. He's that dynamic of an athlete. But he can kick, he can place kick, he can kick off, and he can hold for extra point field goals. He's really a beautiful athlete. He went out of Cedar Ridge High School, played with Todd Ford there, just really a former good player there at the University of Texas there with Shannon Kelly on our staff there at UT, and played for him. Went on to North Texas, where he punted in 10 games at North Texas, left there and went to TJC, and then from TJC, Tyler Community College, he came to us there. Danny Palmer's been a great friend to our program there at Tyler Junior College, and we're excited about the 4th or 5th player in our program from Tyler. Kind of Blake, which was kind of really interesting. He was a five-star recruit coming out of high school, was number 5 in the nation as a punter coming out of high school, and he's truly exceptional. It's great to have those great punters in the program. Ben Ratzliff is a wide receiver out of Golden West Community College in Orange County, California. He's out of Westview High School there in San Diego. Played for Nick Mitchell there at Golden West, one of the great junior college head coaches out on the West Coast. A very versatile wide receiver, a really dynamic guy in and out of a cut, has a great catch radius, very, very excellent student. And we are just really excited about we have become a good throwing offense, and we have a lot of explosion capabilities. We need we need wide receivers for our offense to function, and we need to pick up a few this year in order to help with us to grow in that side of the ball, and we feel like Ben has certainly been that for us. D-Lon, or as we call him, D-Lo Smith, is a corner, South Gwinnett High School in Atlanta, which is one of the hotbeds in recruiting nationally. Went to Delta State, felt like he had an opportunity to be a Division I guy after playing as a freshman there at Delta State. Went to a JC Antelope Valley out there where we played with Coach Jay at Antelope Valley, and became a dominant player, highly competitive. He's a 6'1" corner and very, very athletic. This was a tough recruiting battle for us, and one that we feel like is really special. I think Keaton Dickey and a guy like D-Lo Smith at corners, and they're both long and 6 foot plus corners. They're special gets for our program, and good days ahead as we get them on campus here. James Thomas is a hybrid linebacker, kind of a linebacker defensive end type, out of Bakersfield, California. Went to Bakersfield College. There's a really this is a really special young man. He committed to us, and he will start spring ball here with us next week also. And excited. John and Yoko Thomas are their parents, and just maybe about 10 days ago, in their home in Bakersfield. These are incredible people. I can't wait for John and Yoko to come on our campus for home games, and I think our community will find out just what a family this is, and of tremendous people. He's an excellent student, and is truly a special linebacker there. The big guy at 6'2" and 240 pounds. He's really a fast twitch guy. Brandon Walker is a wide receiver out of Sulphur, Louisiana, which is right next to Lake Charles. He committed to us in December. We got a chance to spend time with him in camp. This guy right here, I don't know what's in the water in Sulphur, but it's a fast water community over there because this guy is quick. We watched him in camp, and I tell you what, we couldn't take our eyes off of him. He was electrifying, and his smile lighted the room. He's a great student. He's a 3-point plus GPA in a good academic community over there. His parents are really special individuals. I think, again, I can't wait for Elijah's parents to get back on campus for ball games because I think it's really going to add to our football community here. But Brian and Jessica are just wonderful folks. Brandon was an all-state player there in Louisiana as well. Dan Wilkins is an offensive tackle. He's out of Brisbane, Australia. He went to Tyler Junior College there and played for Coach Palmer there, another one of our Tyler guys. He's a big guy at 6'6", 330, and he's on campus right now. I had a chance to watch him in a squat rack yesterday, and it was a beautiful thing. And he is a big old wide-looking dude and a great personality. I think he will be probably one of the Mr. Popularity contestants here on campus. His personality is very infectious, and a lot of people just want to listen to him talk because he's got a pretty cool accent there too. But Dale and Mel Wilkins, I did not get a chance to get to Australia for that home visit, and I'm hoping Dale and Mel will get our way. But really a neat leader, a guy that we see as a guard but can play tackle, and a really special guy. KJ Willie is an athlete that we had a chance to spend time with in camp this past summer. He's at Allen High School, one of obviously the storied programs in the state of Texas, and actually played for Terry Gamble there. And this is back-to-back years that we've taken defensive backs out of Allen High School. This past year, Colton Manning started for us at safety as a true freshman, and we expect KJ to be a special guy. We watched him at defensive back, and he was one of the best athletes on the field. He turned around and was the wide receiver. The next rep in a lot of the one-on-one competition is one of the best wide receivers on the field. Turned around, was on defensive back, and make a pick on a corner route, and they turn around and run a receiver, and just smoke and run by a guy. Back and forth offense and defense. We can't quite figure out where to play him because we think he's good enough to play on both sides of the ball. We're going to start him on defense as an athlete, but he is a special guy. Tremaine and Heather, his parents, are wonderful folks, and we're excited about them. He's a great basketball player. I got to keep him away from our basketball coach because that guy is quick as a cat. Defensively, Ron, on the court in basketball, he's a pure tiger there. So he's a special guy. Jalen Woods, running back out of Cy-Fair High School here in the greater Houston area. Most people probably know that Cy-Fair has become one of the dominant teams in the state and one of the dominant teams certainly in the greater Houston area. Has now been a 1,000-yard rusher each in his junior and his senior year there at Cy-Fair. He's a big, strong back, can really run, physical. Jeremy and Alicia, his parents, are wonderful folks, and we were so excited. I think this was our target at running back. We were only going to take one, and when he committed to us on the visit, I think I saw grown men in our coaching staff weep, I think, and we were, and those are excitement tears because this one was a special guy. We think that he's on par with some of the better backs that will line up and play in this league year in, year out, and just excited. He's a great student, a great football IQ. He runs track and all the sprints, and that's a big, thick guy running down the track, and so good-looking guy. And then the last guy I have a chance to introduce today is Christian Hood. Christian is an offensive center out of Marshall High School, played for Claude Mathis, which is one of the very best high school coaches in this state. Marshall High School obviously being one of the greatest traditions in the state of Texas. Christian is a very, very smart football IQ guy. As center, you have to have a smart guy. He's a great student in the classroom. He's great on the field. He's a tough guy. He's 6'2", 300-pounder, and with great feet and just a great tenacity about him. he's a phenomenal young man. Kendra, his mom, is just a phenomenal lady, and I hope she moves to Houston. She says she's going to be around him, but I do that just so she can come to practice and I can hang out with her. She's a great lady, and they were fun to have around on his official visit, and I know that we are excited. He is not only an all-state football player, but he's a 3-time all-state academic player in the state of Texas, and truly part of a great class. So that is 12 guys that signed with us, 11 today that signed with us, plus 11 in December for a class of 22. We do probably by now have got another player who's we're really excited about signing with us, that once we get his paperwork in, we'll be able to announce him later today, but excited about being able to add one more to this class today as we speak. And these are great days. And again, I just want to thank everybody for the support that they give us in this program. I want to thank the parents of our recruits. Just know that y'all are part of our family. And for those young dogs there, some on campus and some that are coming, just know that we can't wait to get you here, because we know that you're the difference in our program as we build a winner here at HBU. Thank you.
Well, once again, thanks everybody, and make sure that you go through the line and get some food. Coaches are going to be here to hang out and talk about this recruiting class. I know we're all excited today, and just right around the corner, Monday, spring football practice starts, and that will end on March 22nd. We'll have a full scrimmage at 7 o'clock at Husky Stadium. Everybody's invited out for that. And then get ready for the season opener, August 31st at UTEP, and we're all excited and glad to have all these guys coming in to join us in this class. And thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll see you soon.